The Book of Esther is one of the most fascinating books of the entire Old Testament. In fact, we see the hand of God throughout every page, even though the name of God is never even mentioned. It's the story of a young Jewish girl in the midst of the Persian Empire who becomes queen by the hand of God and saves the entire Jewish nation. Now, so when we study this book contextually, we want to make sure we understand where it's found. It's one of the historical books of the Old Testament telling this period of time while Israel is in Persian captivity. And yet it also fits with the entire narrative of the Old Testament where God promised you will be in captivity, but I will bring you out safe and sound. There will always be a remnant of the Jews. And so the many characters you find, Ahasuerus or Xerxes, according to some scholars, is this king of Persia. And after he puts away his first wife, he then goes on a quest of finding another wife. He holds a beauty pageant in a sense and tries out different queens. And so Esther rises to this position, this title, and he does not know that she's a Jew. Her uncle Mordecai is a prominent character in the books. He takes care of her, protects her, and then charges her with the task. Hey, you might be the very one at this appointed time, for such a time as this, to rescue the Jews from the hand of Haman, this evil conspirator, this trusted advisor in a sense of the king who only wants to see the destruction of the Jews. So by the end of the book of Esther, you find that God provides safety and provides a time of peace, tranquility, and prosperity for the Jews in Persia. Now, here's the question. If we only had Esther, how would that point us to the gospel of Jesus Christ? Could we see gospel elements? Well, I say absolutely. And the reason is because you have an enemy of the Jews who's seeking their death. In fact, gives them a death sentence, a warrant that says you are going to be destroyed. And Esther uses her power and privilege to have a written decree that says they now have an ability to stand in peace and defend themselves. By the end of the book, God had turned a horror into a holiday. In fact, we get a Jewish holiday and feast, the Feast of Purim, from this book at this particular time. And the beautiful truth is that Jesus Christ did the same thing for us, and on an even greater scale, that Jesus took our horror of death and turned it into a holiday of freedom with his own death, burial, and resurrection. For such a time, not only in the time of Esther, but in the fulfillment of time for salvation, Jesus provided us a way of life and life everlasting.